loud, so come give me a hug. What's going on, guys? Just got off of work, gotta put some music on, about to hit the gym. Today was a long day, you know. Tuesdays and Thursdays are like my longest day at work and school, from 8 to 6. So I bring my meals with me, as you guys can see. Shout out to Simon for giving me this lunch bag, this epic lunch bag. And then after work and school, I just go straight to the gym, and then I go home, guys. Time to do homework, you know, pay bills, things like that, the typical alpha shit, right? But anyway, a quick video on how do you know if you're building muscle, right? How do you know if you're building muscle? For example, right now, right? Am I building muscle or not? How do I know, you know? Now, a lot of us are going to go into a fucking lab and get a bunch of shit hooked up to us and be able to tell, hey, your protein synthesis is at 58% or whatever, right? So a lot of times you have to use, you know, either common knowledge or, in fact, the only thing you can do is use common knowledge, right? Nobody has a fucking scouter that they could scan you with and be like, you know, your protein synthesis levels is rising, blah, 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 it's over 9,000. Nah. The only way to know if you're growing or not is to look at the requirements for growth, right? What are the requirements for growth? Obviously, you know, we know protein synthesis has to be higher than protein breakdown. That's an oversimplified version of it. It's more complicated than that, but as long as your protein synthesis is higher than your protein breakdown, you know, positive nitrogen balance, you almost guaranteed to put on size, right? That's why steroids work so well. They keep you in that positive nitrogen balance. So, as long as you know the prerequisites, the requirements for growth, you can tell if you're growing or not, right? It's not the body's not that fucking crazy, right? It follows specific laws, like the law of gravity, all these fucking laws, right? So 3 things. I try to nail a lot of things come into play when it comes to building muscle, but I narrowed it down to 3 things for y'all. 3 things, you know, based obviously on my knowledge, based on the literature, based on the research, based on, you know, everything that's out there, right? Those 3 things you cannot argue, right? There's not a scientist in the world that can argue with those 3 things. They are the 3 requirements for the muscle to grow, right? Now, to make muscle grow, you have to make the muscle cell grow, right? So if you know how to make one muscle cell grow, obviously your bicep muscles is made out of a lot of muscle fibers, a lot of muscle cells. So in order to make a muscle grow, you have to make the fibers grow. In order to make the muscle fibers grow, you have to make the muscle cell grow. So in order to make your whole body grow, you have to know how to just grow one cell. If you know how to grow one cell, one muscle cell, you know how to grow the rest of your physique, right? By following the principles. So here are the 3 principles, guys. Number 1, you gotta have the growth factors present, right? And those 3 gotta be on. Pretend those 3 things I'm about to list as lights that have to be turned on at the same time for protein synthesis to be maximized, right? So you can't turn on 1 and leave the other 2 off, or turn on 2 and leave the other 1 off. All 3 of these bitches have to be turned on. Number 1 is the growth factors, right? They gotta be there, you know, like IGF-1, you know, testosterone, all these things. And these are gonna come from your training, right? These are mainly gonna come from your training. Unless you're on the juice, then it's also gonna come from the juice. But I'm assuming, you know, we all natties out there. I'm assuming, you know. So you gotta have the growth factors in the blood present, right? Testosterone, I already told you guys what testosterone does. It goes into the bloodstream. It binds to the it goes to the cell. It binds to the testosterone is actually one of the steroid hormones, meaning it's able to go through the cell membrane without a carrier. But anyway, once it's inside the muscle cell, it binds to a receptor, androgen receptor, that takes it into the nucleus, into the DNA, right? And it activates a bunch of, you know, growth shit, right? And your body starts synthesizing protein, mRNA comes out. I could make tons of videos on this. It's so fucking cool. It's nerdy as fuck, but to keep this video short, let's just say testosterone keeps nitrogen, allows your body to reuse nitrogen and keeps protein synthesis high, right? Growth hormone does this thing. IGF-1, you know, is one of the main players. But anyway, growth factor is gonna come from fucking training, right? I talk too fucking much, that ADD. So that's number 1, they gotta be there. Number 2 is amino acids, right? Your amino acids have to be in the blood, right? Your blood has to go, your cell has to go from low amino acid concentration to high amino acid concentration, right? So let's say you eat, you wait 3 to 4 hours, blood amino acid levels are back down to normal, the cells leucine levels are back down to normal, you eat again, your body gets that spike, boom, mTOR kicks in, starts synthesizing all kinds of muscle tissue, right? So number 2, you gotta have your amino acids present in the blood. That doesn't mean they gotta be in the blood constantly 24/7. I made a video about that. They have to have a chance to go down and go back up, right? And I made a video about AMPK, all that bullshit. But anyway, amino acids. And number 3, energy levels, right? The cell has to have enough energy to synthesize muscle. It's like trying to build a castle. You're hiring the fucking workers, but you're not giving them no food to eat. You're not giving them no money. What's gonna happen? You're gonna have the workers there. You're gonna have the bricks there. The workers are like the IGF-1 and all that shit, right? The enzymes. The bricks to build the castle is like the protein, the nitrogen that you're eating. But if you don't give it the energy, if you don't give your workers a salary, you don't give them the food and water they need to work, you're gonna have the bricks and the workers, but no building taking place, right? And building muscle, guys, protein synthesis is a very energy consuming process, right? It consumes a lot of I say very high energy consuming process. It consumes a lot of fucking energy. So your ATP can be too gotta be available, right? The moment your body uses too much ATP to synthesize protein, your blood AMP concentrations go up, which activates the AMP kinase, AMPK pathway, which starts fucking up your muscle gain. So we don't want that. So recap, you gotta have 3 things: growth factors from training, right? Assuming you train, and this is local. You know, if you train your legs, doesn't mean your bicep is gonna keep growing, right? So you have the growth factors present. Number 2, you gotta have your amino acids in the blood, and number 3, you gotta have adequate energy levels, right? At all times, except when you're sleeping, you can't really do anything about that. All right, guys, hope that helps. Keep your protein synthesis up. So pretty much at the end of the day, if you want to know if you're building muscle right now, as you're watching this video, ask yourself, when's the last time I trained for my growth factors to be present? 2, when's the last time I ate protein? And number 3, do I have enough energy levels in my cell to build muscle? All right, caloric surplus, all that good shit. I'm out of here, guys. By the way, Hunter's fucking massive. I gotta make a video showing you guys what Hunter looks like. He's 235 pounds now. Big as fuck. Oh, there goes mine. That's why I couldn't find out. I finished that shit yesterday. Right? This shit right there. I don't know if your Kroger or your Walmart has it, but guys, check it out. It's only, you could backload with this like a motherfucker. Not only sweet as fuck,